Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sierra, and today I am going to be doing another one of these heart pendants. I'll show you the one that I have here, but the one I'm gonna do is gonna be different than this one. I have this one here. It's beautiful, but what I want to do is I want to add color to it. Right now I have the clear castings, and I want to have it done pink. So I'm going to walk you through on everything I'm going to use. Then I'm going to put this together, and then I will come back and we'll add the color and all that. And then I want to go into one of my police stories, but I don't want to have to go through the whole process of doing this on camera. I do have a video where I did the whole process. I'll have that linked at the end. So what I'm going to be using, obviously you're going to need some jewelry tools if you're going to do this. I have my flush cutters. I have my round nose pliers. I have my needle nose pliers. And I have my bent nose pliers. Okay. I have a black cord. Let's see, I have some dotting tools and a silicone tool, some toothpicks. I have a paintbrush, and with the paintbrush I have 99% isopropyl alcohol, and that is what I use to clean my brush and to keep it from getting hard and sticky. Do not, if you have UV resin on your brush, you don't want UV light hitting it. So I'll put that off to the side here. I have some jump rings, some little silicone cups. I have my UV torch. I have my UV light. I have some clear hard type UV resin. I have some high viscosity UV resin. I have one of my little heart castings on a piece of poster putty just to keep it in place. What I have here, the little pink gemstones are just the little acrylic diamonds. I buy them clear, and then I color them using the Bombay ink. So I just mix the Bombay ink in and then spread it out over some paper towel, let it dry, and that's what that is. And the clear ones are, why I put it away, just some clear rhinestones, just the small ones I dug out of there. For the color of this, I want to use the Let's Resin Rose Red. I already have it mixed up right here. So basically I want to get this put together. So first I have to add in the little eye pin, or head pin. That's what that is, head pin. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the whole process, filling this in and doing the whole thing. And then once I get this put together, we'll come back and add the color and do all that stuff and go into one of my stories. So I will see you in a second. Okay. This is what I have. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit. Move this out of the way. I don't need that. We're going to go about right there. This is what I have. Really cute. Okay. I'm going to get this out. I'm going to mix up this pink. And what I want to talk about is 9/11. Do you remember where you were 9/11? I know my kids, they're grown now and they have families of their own. My kids were in middle school, and I had a couple years on the department, and I worked at that point. I believe I was on afternoons, but I had court that day, traffic court. And traffic court in the city of Detroit is like a circus. It is so unorganized. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the pink, and we're just going to put a couple layers of this color pink on there. Hopefully it starts showing up. I don't want it too dark though. So I had traffic court, and I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a morning person. I'm a night owl. It's changing a little bit the older I get, but I still get my days and nights all screwed up. But so it was in the morning, obviously, and I'm in traffic. You see the difference between the pink and the clear. I can see it. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a morning person. I'm driving to court. It's like, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning, something like that. We lived about an hour outside of Detroit, and I was heading into Detroit for traffic court. And for some reason, I decided I'm gonna cure this. But I'm gonna cover this. Gotta keep reminding myself to move out of the way. Clean this up. Just get a little bit going. Okay. I'm gonna start rotating it. I'm sticking to the light. I'm just gonna rotate it. And I had to. I was driving into court in traffic. I was in traffic heading into Detroit for traffic court. And I remember for some reason that day I was listening to the weather update and the news update. You know, I wasn't really listening to any music. I usually do at that time, would listen to music on the way into work or court or whatever. But for some reason on this day, I had the news station on, and driving into Detroit. And it was just a beautiful day, nice, sunny, beautiful morning. And I just get ready to pull into the parking garage in downtown Detroit. And when you would pull into the parking garage, you would lose the signal on the radio. So just as I'm pulling into the parking garage, I heard that a plane hit one of the towers of World Trade Center. And they said a small plane or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And went in. By the time I got into the parking structure, the signal to the radio had gone out. So it's not like I could listen to anything. And I want to make something really clear. I'm not going to be going into any conspiracy theories or anything like that, because we all know how many are out there. I'm just going off of what we knew on that day in 2001. So that was 2 minutes. So I'm going to pull out my color again. Let me clean off my brush. So, like I said, now I'm in make my way up to the court, sign in for court, get on the elevator, and I get up in the courtroom. And as a police officer, I would sit, like in traffic court, I would sit where like the jury would sit, because there was never a jury for traffic court. So those chairs were always, always available. And for some reason, this particular day in traffic court was jam packed with people. I mean, it was like, usually you would get like half the courtroom would be, have a lot of people, but on this particular day, there was a lot of people. Not just for me, although I was the only officer in the courtroom on that day, but so I'm sitting there, and I got the stenographer, the lady who types up what's said in court or whatever on her little thing. Well, she is updating me on what she's hearing. Again, I'm going to put my brush up, close this up, and I'm going to turn this and cure it. Now, the stenographer, she's updating me. She's whispering to me what's going on that she's hearing on the news. And for some reason, the judge was late coming out. And a lot of times the judge would be, 10, 15 minutes late sometimes coming out onto the bench. But she was unusually late on this day coming out. And the stenographer told me, second plane hit the other tower. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And then and she told me that they weren't small planes, they were actual jets. So I'm like, we are under attack. I didn't know to what extent we were under attack. I just knew that this wasn't normal. So I'm looking out at all the people that are sitting in the courtroom, and they don't know any of this is going on. And then I don't know how much longer later it was, but she come over and whispered to me that the Pentagon was hit. Now I'm freaked. I am freaked out. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm thinking of my kids. I got my two kids. Like I said, they were in middle school, and I'm an hour away from where my kids are. All I want to do is I just want to get the heck out of there and get to my kids. I wasn't worried about anybody else. I was worried about my kids. So right after she said that, the judge comes out onto the bench, and the judge is crying, visibly crying. And apparently her son was in one of the top floors of one of the buildings, of one of the towers. And it's looking really cute. And I'm going to clean off my brush again. And she decided she was going to cancel court that day. And there were so many people in that courtroom. They were so upset. Like I said, they didn't know what was going on. All they know is the judge was late taking the bench, and then court was canceled. So now I got a bunch of upset people in the courtroom, and I'm thinking of my kids. And then the lights in the courthouse go out. I mean, we're sitting in a dark courtroom, and then the emergency lights come on, and then the person over the speaker tells everybody to exit the building via the staircase, the stairwells, not to take the elevators. Well, I'm in full uniform. I tell you what, I wanted to, I knew what I had to do, is I had to um, get the people out of the courthouse and lead them down the stairs. You know, the professional thing that, you know, you would expect a uniformed police officer to do. What I wanted to do is I wanted to elbow my way through these crowds of people, get the heck out of my way, and booty butt my way through there, and you know, sprint down those stairs, get in my car, and get to my kids. But I obviously couldn't do that. That was my first instinct, was screw everybody else, I got to get to my kids. But I didn't. I calmly, okay, everybody, let's, you know, let's stay calm, and got I'm expecting, I swear to you, I was expecting the downtown area to be in flames or something. I don't know what I was expecting. So I escort, you know, not just that courtroom, but everybody from that floor down out of the building. And it was a beautiful sunny day, just gorgeous, just beautiful. And it just wasn't, what I was seeing wasn't going with what I was feeling, I guess. You know, visually, I wasn't expecting it to be beautiful out there like that. So I believe at that time too, I had a cell phone, because I remember I was in the car and I had called work. It's looking really cute. I like that. I had called work and to find out if I had to come in. And my lieutenant, he answered I got on the phone with my lieutenant, and he was like, yes, Sierra, you gotta, you know, everybody's being recalled. You gotta come in ASAP. And I'm like, well, it'd be great to come in ASAP, but I gotta go get my kids. He's like, oh, you know, we need you here. And I'm like, my kids need me. I'm like, I'll be no good to you or to the citizens of the city if I'm worried about my kids. So I was like, let me get my kids situated, and then I'll be in. And he's like, okay, you know, just, you know, hurry up. So that's what I did. I called, then the next call was to my mother-in-law, asking her if she could meet me at my house to watch my kids. I didn't know how long I was going to be at work. So she said yes. My husband was already at work. And so now I have to go get my kids. Well, the school's in complete lockdown. And thank God I was in uniform, because being in uniform actually got me through the door at their school. Okay, I'm going to secure this one more time. So I get to the school, and they let me in, and I get my kids. My kids had a little small idea of what was going on, but not really. So I get my kids, I get them home, and my mother-in-law was there. And I dropped the kids off, and I reported to work. And I worked all that. I think ended up working 16 hours that day. And by the time I got home, the next day is when I actually got to see what had actually happened. So I didn't get to see any of it or really know the extent of it. You know, I would hear about it, you know, the towers coming down, and I heard about it, but I didn't see any of it. And I was stuck that day. I was stuck in a police car at the near the Ambassador Bridge. That's where my post was. We had to sit there and make sure that that area was secure, that nobody was gonna blow it up, I guess. And I actually asked the guy I was working with, I said, okay, scenario. We see guys, I'm not bomb squad. Okay, nobody, I don't know how to, you know, defuse a bomb. I don't know any of that. So I asked the guy I was working with, I was like, okay, let's say we see a box truck that, you know, rolls up under the Ambassador Bridge and they start unloading explosives. Seriously, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, well, I don't know. What do you think we should do? I was like, I'll tell you what we do is we start going eastbound down the street away from the location, and we call it in on radio and let dispatch know that we got a situation. Because I ain't dealing with no bombs. And I see a little bit where it pulled right there. And I want to sand it, but I don't want to sand it. But it doesn't look even at all. So I'm going to cure this under some light. I just hope I have it sealed with some light under some water. And then I'm going to sand it, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, that is what I have. It's sanded. I don't even know if this is going to work. So now I'm going to get out my UV resin that I keep in this little jar, the little jug. It's just regular UV resin that comes in a bottle, and I just dumped it in here. And I just want to make sure that this is dry, cleaned off. There's a park that runs pretty much under the bridge, and you'd catch people under, you know, under in that area doing the deed. So we had that all blocked off to where no cars could get down there or anything like that. So I guess that was what we were supposed to be doing, just making sure nobody drove under there. But yeah, that was really scary. And then when I got home the next day, and I'm going to take this and just dip it in there and see what we got. So when I got home the next day and I actually seen for myself everything that happened, I could not believe it. I mean, I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. But yeah, that's where I was. I was headed into court, traffic court. People would probably know 36th District Court. Just for a regular day at court, and was being updated by the stenographer of everything that was going on. But yeah, when those lights went out in that courtroom, and then the emergency light came on, it was like strobe lights, and then the loud bah, 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 and you know, please exit to the nearest stairwell. You know, I tell you what, man, I wanted to elbow my way through that crowd. I really did. You know, and I looked down at what I was wearing, that uniform. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't manhandle your way through the crowd, you know, elbow people all the way, you know. That was my first instinct, man. Get through here, get to my kids. I was expecting just total pandemonium go on in the downtown area. And when I got street level, went out those doors, and that sun was shining, it was so pretty. I couldn't believe it. Not what I was expecting. So that's what I got right there. I'm going to keep this moving while I close this up. I don't want the light getting to it. Now we're going to turn this. I'm going to keep turning it like that. I'll turn the light, and I'm going to cure it. So that's how I'm going to do that. I'm not going to keep spinning it, but I'm going to cure it. I have two. I have here a piece of styrofoam that I will rest this on, and I'm going to cure this for a full 5 minutes, and then I will be back and we will finish this off. Okay, that is what I have. It looks so cute. I love the colors. I hope my camera's picking up the colors. Let's see. Let's see. It looks better. The camera's not picking that all up very good. It looks like it's darker through here, but it's not. Not in person, it's not anyway. So we're gonna finish this off. I'll keep you zoomed in. I just don't want to go off camera. So I'm gonna pull in my tools here. And I'm going to, do I want to use these? Let me see. Let me get these ones. Because I want to actually, I'm going to rest that on there. And then I'm going to take that back. Like that. See how that is? I'm going to get the round ones. I'm going to put that in there like that. I'm going to swing that around like that. I'm going to rotate up. And I'm going to bring it back like that. Okay. And now I'm going to get these out. I'm going to hold on to it this way. I'm going to grab a hold of the wire from behind. And I'm going to wrap. And wrap. You can do this as messy or as neat as you want. I say that because I'm usually messy. That's good. Now I'm going to clip this off like so. I'll take these and pinch that part that's sharp. I don't want that sticking out. So we got it like that. Let me see if I can find something to put this on. With the black. Come on, black. Hold on. That turned out so cute. I like it. Okay. Let's get a jump ring. Doesn't have to be a giant jump ring. Let's go this one here. Oh, that light's really warm. And make sure when you're using UV resin that you let whatever you're doing cool down in between. You don't want, you want it to cool down because it gets really hot when you're working with UV resin. So we got that. Let's get the cord. Oh, not that cord. Where's my cord? So where were you on 9/11? That is what I want to know. And I want to take this time to welcome all my new subscribers and thank all my returning subscribers for your continued support of my channel. I truly appreciate it. Really do. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments. Your likes and your comments really help out my channel a lot. Can't stress that enough. It will tell YouTube that not only are my videos being watched, but there's engagement, and that's what YouTube cares about more than anything. More than subscribers, more than anything. It cares about the engagement. So like and comment on this video. Share this video with your friends. I really like how that turned out. Let me know what you think. And until next time, you guys have a great day and God bless. Bye.